Hi, I'm happy to welcome you all to the today's English class. And in the today's English class, we are going to continue the poem which we discussed in the previous class. What was that poem? It was a poem written by William Wordsworth, one of the greatest poets of all time. The title of the poem is Lines Written in Early Spring. Early spring, the start of a spring. The season in this poem is the start of the spring. The poet has written this poem in the midst of French Revolution. War was raging all over the place. And you also know that this poet, William Wordsworth, is also called as nature's poet, for he has written a number of poems based on nature. And the same he has used in this poem, and here he links man with nature. He was thinking that man was closely associated to nature, but his actions was taking him away from the nature. What were those actions? Like cutting down the trees for building his house and clearing the fields to sell it to other person, and treating other human beings cruelly. And in this poem, the poet William Wordsworth is the speaker, and he was feeling a lot. His heart was grieving a lot. In yesterday's class, we saw two stanzas, and both the stanzas he was sitting under a tree in the woods, in a grove. A small group of trees, just like a small forest. He was sitting under a tree and was watching everything, and he heard 1,000 blended notes. He heard lots of sounds there. The sounds of nature, the sounds of birds, the sounds of moving flowers. He heard lots of sounds, and it brought very sweet mood to him. And in that sweet mood, pleasant thoughts had brought sad thoughts in his mind. And in the stanzas 3, 4 and 5, the poet William Wordsworth, he has represented how flowers, birds and trees are enjoying in the nature. Let's see how he has represented it in this poem. The third stanza, through the primrose tufts in that green bower. Bower, which means a shady place. Green shady place. Through primrose tufts. Tufts means bunch of flowers. Primrose, bunch of primrose flowers in that green shady place. The periwinkle trailed its wreaths. Wreaths are the closely connected flowers, just like this. The periwinkle trailed its wreaths, and it is my fate. It is my fate that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. And he represented that every flower enjoys a lot, enjoys the air it breathes in nature, and enjoys the air it breathes. Here he has used personification. Breathing is a process of human being, and he has connected it with flowers. Let's move to the next stanza, and next stanza, how birds are enjoying in the nature. The birds around me hopped and played. The birds around him, he was sitting under a tree in the grove, and the birds around him hopped and played, and he was watching that closely, and their thoughts I cannot measure. What they think, he cannot measure it. Their thoughts I cannot measure. Here thoughts, mostly it is connected with human being. The characteristic of human beings are given to birds. So this is a personification line. But the least motion which they made, they were hopping and playing around him, and he had watched everything, and that showed him that it seemed a thrill of pleasure. It seemed to him they were very happy to be in the nature. That's what he has represented in the third and fourth stanzas. In the third stanza, he was speaking about the flowers. how flowers are enjoying nature, and in the fourth stanza he has represented the birds, how birds are enjoying in the nature. And let us see the next two stanzas in the next class. That's all for the today's video. I hope you have understood it a lot. Thank you for watching this video.